In ancient Japan, there was a small village nestled between tall mountains and a peaceful river. In this village lived an old Zen master named Hiroshi. Hiroshi was known for his wisdom and kindness. People from far and wide would come to him seeking guidance and advice. One day, a young man named Kenji arrived at the village. Kenji was troubled and restless. He had been wandering from place to place, looking for peace, but finding none. He heard about Hiroshi and decided to seek his wisdom. Kenji approached Hiroshi, who was sitting quietly under a cherry blossom tree. The old master welcomed him with a gentle smile. Kenji bowed deeply and said, "Master Hiroshi, I am lost. I cannot find peace. Please help me." Hiroshi nodded and invited Kenji to sit beside him. He handed Kenji a cup of tea and said, "First, let us have some tea." Kenji was impatient, but he respected Hiroshi's calmness and accepted the tea. As they drank their tea in silence, Hiroshi pointed to the river and said, "Look at the river, Kenji. Do you see how it flows gently, without hurry, without worry? The river knows its path and follows it naturally. It does not rush, but it reaches the ocean in time." Kenji watched the river, trying to understand. Hiroshi continued, "Our minds are like this river. When we let go of our worries and let our minds flow naturally, we find peace. But when we struggle against the current, we become tired and restless." Hiroshi then asked Kenji to close his eyes and listen to the sounds around him. Kenji closed his eyes and heard the gentle rustling of the leaves, the soft murmur of the river, and the distant chirping of birds. After a while, Hiroshi said, "What do you hear, Kenji?" Kenji replied, "I hear the river, the leaves, and the birds." Hiroshi smiled and said, "These sounds are always here, but we often do not notice them because our minds are too busy with worries. When we quiet our minds, we can hear and see the beauty around us. This is the first step to finding peace." The next morning, Hiroshi took Kenji to a nearby hill. They climbed to the top, and from there they could see the entire village and the river winding through it. Hiroshi said, "Life is like this climb, Kenji. Sometimes it is steep and difficult, but if we take one step at a time and do not give up, we will reach the top and see the beauty of our journey." Kenji felt a sense of clarity and calmness. He realized that his constant searching and worrying had prevented him from seeing the simple beauty in life. He bowed to Hiroshi and said, "Thank you, Master. I understand now." Hiroshi smiled and said, "Remember, Kenji, peace comes from within. It is not something you can find outside. Be like the river, flow naturally, and you will find your way." Kenji stayed in the village for some time, learning from Hiroshi and helping the villagers. He practiced meditation and mindfulness, learning to quiet his mind and appreciate the present moment. As days passed, he felt a deep sense of peace and contentment. One day, Kenji decided it was time to continue his journey. He bowed deeply to Hiroshi and said, "Thank you, Master, for showing me the way." Hiroshi nodded and replied, "The journey is never-ending, Kenji. Remember what you have learned and keep your heart open. Peace is always within you." With these words, Kenji left the village. He walked with a calm mind and a light heart, knowing that he carried the wisdom of Hiroshi with him. He no longer searched for peace outside, for he had found it within. As Kenji traveled, he shared Hiroshi's teachings with others, spreading the wisdom of Zen wherever he went. People noticed a change in Kenji. He was no longer restless and troubled. He had become a source of peace and inspiration for others. And so, the simple wisdom of the old Zen master lived on, touching the lives of many and reminding them that true peace comes from within, and that, like the river, they should flow naturally and trust their journey. If this video has touched your heart, we invite you to give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel so you won't miss any of our upcoming content. Your support is essential to help this community grow and spread positive messages in the world. Remember, every little gesture counts. Thank you for joining us on this journey. We'll see you in the next video.